Welcome to Front and Center Ice, presented by Run Pure Sports. I'm your host, JC Zargo, joined as always by the boys, Nateify.
What's going on, man? How we doing?
All right, man. How are you?
Good. Thursday here. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Sorry for the delay here. A little bit technical difficulties. Not knowing we could go live at the same time as the other show, but we're here and ready to bring the winners for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Tanner, man, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Ready to get going on this.
Absolutely. Matty Ice, glad you could join us.
Yeah, what's going on, fellas?
Jump right into it, tear on, and just dip when you got to dip.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, like I said, I want to jump right into it. Running behind, and we want to give these picks out as quickly as possible. First game I got covered, it's the rematch. It's the Colorado Avalanche going back into Tampa to take on the Lightning for the first time since the Stanley Cup Finals. Neither team has been playing like a Stanley Cup contender, but we got plenty of regular season left for them to get it together. Bolts have looked terrible since the break. Colorado's look sloppy. In a matchup like this, tell me who you got, Matty Ice.
Yeah, I mean, I think this probably ends up being a decent game. You typically see decent good teams get up to play each other. So, from a DFS side of things, I think you look to your usual suspects. Braden Point, I'm probably going to fade tonight. The Avs are very strong against centermen. So when looking at the Bolts, I prefer to go to their wings. I like Kucherov and Stamkos. I think Brendan Hagel's pretty sneaky. He's on that second line. He's still running on the top power play. He gets some PK work as well, too. And then if you go over to the Avs side, obviously, Nate the Great's in play. Any slate, he's viable. I like Valerie Nichushkin again. And then with a dirty hit, Jeff Carter laid on Callie McCarr the other night. Sorry, Tanner. But Devon Toews is going to take over the top power play spot for the Avalanche tonight. He's 4,800 on DraftKings, 5,900 on FanDuel. He's probably going to play 25 to 27 minutes. He looks like a strong value option.
Right on. Nateify, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Matty here. I actually think this game it plays more towards the under here. It's sitting at 6. I mean, these two teams are gonna want to get revenge. Like I feel it more like a playoff hockey game here. It does look like Vaz is gonna be in net for Tampa, so I do actually give the slight lean here to Colorado, especially with Valerie back. Their offense just clicks way better with him there. From a DFS perspective, all these guys are priced up, and I like other spends on this slate. I think this, like I said, if I think this game plays under at these price tags, don't have a ton of interest in DFS. The Devon Toews call is a great call there on that top power play. Going to see probably 27 plus minutes. But another guy that I'm going to look to is Samuel, right back on the train with Samuel Girard, however you pronounce it. But he's been on a tear. I called him last time. Got us 11 DraftKings points. He's 4K flat, so that's a very nice value there too. I do think Toews takes more ownership, which he's still not going to get a ton, but it is $800 goes a long way when you got guys like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evander Kane, those kind of guys on this slate that are in a great matchup and you want to pay. You only have so much salary to spend, so I do think that's a nice value play there. He's going to see probably close to 24 to 25 minutes with the injuries here. So I like him quite a bit.
Right on. I got a tough time on this one. Colorado's certainly been playing better, so I would lean them. I got to feel like the under is the only smart bet here, but Tanner, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think the under is the way to go here, minus 105 for that 6 mark. But yeah, I just think this plays like a playoff game. Like you said, it's a rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals. Two teams that are high. They haven't played at such a high level. And like Matty was saying, the big teams like step up to play against the other big teams. And one of the guys who does that is Nate McKinnon. I wish I could get better lines on some of his props, but I think he has a fantastic night tonight. He's just a a sick puppy when it comes to being just the competitive stuff. He's just an animal. So when faced with a team like this, I think he comes out and has a great night. But what you're saying about Devon Taves, you can get minus 120 for him to record a point tonight. I don't think we see a ton of goals tonight, but I do like the position he's in. Like you said, with McCarr out, he should be seeing a ton more ice time. I couldn't find anything for Sam, or I think it's Sam, for Gerard to record a point. But if you can find anything like that, I wouldn't hate that either. I think one of them is at least involved with whatever goals are scored from the Colorado side. And being defenseman, you're going to get a lot better value out of that. But yeah, like you said, tough time finding an edge either way. I mean, just being on home ice and losing the first 2 games after the All-Star break, I do give Tampa a little bit of a lean here, but it's not enough to really put my money where my mouth is. So I think we get a solid hockey game tonight.
Right on. I did the one kind of edge I found, which I know you guys aren't going to love. It's McDavid anytime goal. I know it's set at minus money, but only 4 times this season has he gone consecutive games without a goal. You're shaking your head, Nate. 4 times without a goal. He didn't get one last time. Hearts average an average of 4 goals a game, 4 goals allowed against the Oilers. It's poised for an easy crack. Whoa.
So what game are we talking about here? What are you doing?
I'm jumping
ahead.
Oh my God! Get the show back on the rails.
We got too excited.
You know what? We get the late start. I'm lost. I'm floundering.
Oh my God!
You even let me go. You made me look like an idiot.
The man jumps games and talk about a minus. You're paying juice for an anytime goal scorer.
Wow.
All right. Well, we'll get the show back on the rails here. One guy I did want to mention, though, in this game, right back, Ross Colton. He's playing really well.
Which one? Are we sticking with Edmonton or are we going back to Colorado?
We're sticking with the right game here and staying on Tampa Bay. Ross Colton, Matty's boy here, he only got a $200 price increase, and he's averaging like 15 DraftKings points at 2,700 over his last 5 games. Is on the home ice where I tend to target third liners more. Should see a all right matchup with it being on the depth line. So can definitely take a stab at him again as kind of a one-off last piece to round out your teams.
Yeah, I was going to say, one other guy we should mention, too, with McCarr out is Byram's back for the Avs as well, too. And he's cheap. I think he played 21 minutes the other night. I think he blocked 3 or 4 shots. So with McCarr out, he's obviously going to see a little bump, too. He's quite cheap. So I think on the DFS side of things, he makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he had 21 minutes, a shot on goal, 3 blocks, and an assist.
Yeah.
So he's 3,600, so that's a good value play as well there.
That all for the Colorado-Tampa game?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jared, I'm not, let me explain. I said everything I had to in that game, pulled up my thoughts on the next game, and then forgot I had to move this along. So we're going to move along. The Edmonton Oilers visiting the Philadelphia Flyers. Going to be a great game for McDavid. But Matty Ice, I'll start with you again. Where's your head at on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go right back to the Oilers. I played them on Tuesday night, and I was quite annoyed because I nailed all the secondary teams, and then the Oilers studs kind of dudded, and we saw a bunch of random goals. But I'm gonna go right back to that second line for Edmonton tonight. Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, and Evander Kane. Evander Kane's one of my favorite plays on this slate. Philly kind of plays a grimy checking style of game. That's right up Evander Kane's alley. I think ownership probably doesn't get too high on him because people always want the power play correlation, and he's not on that top power play unit. But I don't find that to be a big deal. He's going to play his usual 15 to 18 minutes, and he's going to be ran out there with the studs every single shift. So I'm kind of there on the Philly side. They're cheap. Obviously, the Oilers can be leaky at times. If I had to go somewhere, it would probably be Travis Konechny. The only issue with that is just pricing. He's just quite expensive. Owen Tippett got moved to the top line with Kevin Hayes and Scott Laughton. He's $4,600. He's always a sneaky guy, been an RPS guy. We were on him quite early in the season when he was lighting up the boards. But other than that, I think the Oilers win the game. Obviously, McJesus, he's in play every single slate. I don't need to sit here and tell you that he's a good hockey player. Anybody watching this show is well aware of that. So if you want to play Connor, absolutely go for it. But me personally, I'm going to be on Leon, Draisaitl, and Evander Kane quite heavy tonight.
Easy enough. Natify, what do you have on this game?
Yeah, so I'm here to not tell you to bet a -145 anytime goal scorer.
I got -118.
Either way, I'll never bet a minus money goal scorer because even McDavid, we saw last game against Detroit, did not score. They did move he's skating with Derek Ryan and Holloway. Like, I understand it's McDavid, right? And he's probably, when it's all said and done, probably going to be the greatest to ever do it, or if not one of them. You can always play him. Obviously, he's 9,900 for a reason. Shoots the puck every time he touches it. But yeah, I'm with my guy over there in the Krill the Thrill jersey. And this Edmonton line too is going to absolutely steamroll. They are going to crush. Evander Kane, 6,700. That's too cheap. Zach Hyman's been great all season long. And Leon is a significant discount off of McDavid in the exact same matchup and has the better line mates. So that's where I'm going to go. Edmonton right back on the ship. Sorry, we didn't have the crystal ball on Tuesday to tell you Warren Fogle was going to score 2 goals in his 12 minutes he sees on the ice. That was not in the cards, but we did have Edmonton littered in the cores. And unfortunately, the Water Boys all scored for Edmonton, and the Big Dogs just YMCA free skated there. On the Philly side, full fade for me. Edmonton's actually second in the league in expected goals against over the last 5 on the road. And their actual goals against is sitting right at 2. But I do think Philly does find a goal here. I do have an anytime goal scorer for the people. Matty briefly mentioned him, but it is Owen Tippett. I'm right back on the train. He's plus 310 to get to pot one. He's actually leading this team. He's out shooting TK right now for this team over the last 5. He has some pretty solid history here. I'm going right back to him to score one here from DFS. I don't know if I get to him just because wing spots are valuable, especially when you want to play guys like Edmonton and some other guys we're going to talk about in Florida and those guys. But I do think he scores here.
Nice. Tanner, any love for Hart and the Flyers?
No, I really wanted to, but for them to win, Hart needs to absolutely stand on his head. And like we know he can do it, but after that, the Big Dogs only combined for an assist last game. I just think they go nuts tonight, and I just think they kind of stick it to the Flyers here. You can get the Oilers in regulation at -115. I don't know if I quite get to the puck line. It pays out nice, but just like you said, the Oilers can be leaky at times, and the Flyers, they can score goals. I mean, Konechny's a great player, and they've got a few guys that can score when they're playing well. So I'm probably going to stay off of that one, but I do think the Oilers win here. But I had one in here. I like the Oilers in that first period. They've won the first period against the Flyers in their last in 4 of their last 5 games. So I just think they come out buzzing tonight. Like I said, after the other night, I know the Oilers won, but McDavid didn't record a point. Or if he had, he had the assist. I don't remember who got it, but you don't hold a guy like that to no points for that long. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him have a 2, 3, or even 4-point night, which we know he can do. So definitely for the value, I like that first period puck line. You're getting plus 140 on that. But overall, I do think the Oilers take it. And you can get -115 for that, or in regulation.
Yeah, solid stat. I like it. Great play. I already gave my pick for the Oilers game. As terrible as some may think it, I think it's sure money. You know, it's easy money. We'll move on though. You have something to add?
No, I'm good.
Okay. San Jose Sharks at the Florida Panthers. Both teams coming off a big win against Tampa Bay, so both are coming out of the All-Star break feeling nice. Florida, of course, the heavy favorite is the better team and the home team. But any chance the Sharks pick up 2 in a row, Nate?
I don't think so. Sharks were very hurtful when I was slamming. Nashville had a disgusting team and had Saros with his negative whatever he had. I mean, just he looked like Swiss cheese out there. It was very hurtful. Had a good team going in, and Nashville laid an egg. But I think Florida destroys them here. I love this second line for Florida and Verhaeghe, Sammy Bennett, and Chucky there. Tkachuk is just on an absolute tear, even in the All-Star game. I mean, this dude's on a mission out there. He's averaging right around 5 shots per game, averaging 27 DraftKings points in his last 5, which is astronomical. And he's 8K flat. Usually, I mean, that's almost 2K cheaper than McDavid, and his numbers are night and day different. I understand McDavid's a great, right? But over the last 5, his numbers blow McDavid's out of the water, and he's 2K cheaper. Again, you do have a salary cap when you're building teams. It does matter. I like this line quite a bit. And Aaron Ekblad as well is playing really good hockey right now, shooting damn near 5 times a game as a defender. In a positive matchup here, San Jose is not great at anything, and they're not that great either at stopping D-men here. So I think Ekblad is a great play. He's a great stack there to get you that power play correlation. And then on the Sharks side, I do think we do see some goals here because Florida is 5th in the league over the last 5 in expected goals against. I'm not going to go to the Timo line because I think – is Barkov out actually?
Yeah, he's out.
Okay, so that actually does boost that line quite a bit. Typically, if Barkov was going to be in there, he was going to skate around with Timo all night. So that does give a boost to that Timo line. He's always a threat to score. He is expensive, but I don't think a lot of people go there with Edmonton, with Florida, with some of these other teams, Colorado, Tampa on the slate. The Sharks have been shown to score all year long. But my favorite guy actually for San Jose here is Erik Karlsson, big EK. You can get him plus 330 on FanDuel to score a goal. Florida is terrible against defenders, and I think he pots one. I talk about it all the time. He acts more like a wing anyways. He's a very offensive-focused D-man, and I can see him scoring for sure. So you're giving me 330 there to score a goal. I like that quite a bit.
Cool. Matty Ice, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Nades here. You know, that Bennett, Verhaeghe, and Chucky line is where I'll be looking. I mean, Matthew Tkachuk's just been absolutely unbelievable. He's averaging almost 2 points per game over his last 10. He's just been out of this world, and exactly like Nades mentioned, you know, you're getting him at a 2K discount, you know, to Connor McDavid. You know, if Connor was skating with Kane or Hyman or one of those boys, you know, it's a closer debate. But yeah, San Jose's been weak all year long. They've given up a ton of goals. That being said, exactly like Nades mentioned with Barkov out, I do have a little bit of interest in the Sharks here, specifically Alexander Barabanov. He's going to get a really good matchup tonight. Should not see Chucky at all. I would have guessed the E2 Luostarinen line is going to take the Bennett and Chucky line, which means that the Couture and Barabanov line should end up with a pretty tasty matchup. I would guess probably against Eric Stahl. But Barabanov's plus 340 to pot a goal tonight in a game that I think probably, you know, we see a 5-3 score or something like that. I think he looks like nice value on the betting side. And on the DFS side, he's only 4K. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one.
Okay. Tanner, Florida's been good, not great at home. So any love for the underdog here, or are you riding with the boys?
No, like they've been saying it, that Florida's second line has just been playing out of their minds. One guy I wanted to highlight a little bit is Carter Verhaeghe. He's been playing like a man possessed lately. I mean, just even fantasy points wise, 41 last game, a little bit dud before that against Boston with 6, and 27-30. Him and Tkachuk together are just playing lights out. And I mean, I know it's not a deep cut, but Verhaeghe's my goal scorer for the day, plus 134 on FanDuel. Just the way they're playing is just unbelievable. So I think they're going to run all over the San Jose team. I do like Erik Karlsson as a goal scorer at plus 330. Like you said, with Barkov out, that just opens up so many things for the Sharks. If he was out there, it just completely changes the flow of the game for them. But I do think we see goals here either way, just because Bobrovsky is garbage most of the time. So you're getting, it's on DraftKings, it's right at 7. You're getting plus 115 for that. I think it's fine to risk the push for getting a 115 payout. Like Matty said, like a 5-3 game or something like that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I mean, we saw last game with Tampa against San Jose. I mean, Tampa came out hot, then San Jose came right back at them. So I mean, if they're fielding their top guys, like they can compete. Like I mean, Timo Meyer's good, Couture's good, Carlson's great. So I mean, if they can get those guys, if they can find those guys in the right matchups, they can definitely put points on the board. So. And even 7 there for the over. I don't mind risking the push on that. So I like that at plus 115. But yeah, Carter Verhaeghe, I think, is going to have a fantastic night. And at plus 134, I got to hop on that for a goal scorer.
I like it. That's a heck of a play. So should see tons of goal. Can't really argue with that. Trucking right along. Seattle Kraken visiting the New Jersey Devils. Two teams coming off interesting breaks as Seattle was, in their first game, shut out by the Islanders. And Jersey won in overtime against the Canucks. So they'll go at it today in New Jersey. Matty Ice, I'll start with you. Who do you like? Should be a tight game.
Well, first off, I just want to let Nades pat himself on the back. He's finally earned one. He's been excited about it. He was talking about it in chat the other night. So congratulations. But I like Seattle on this one. I was on them the other night. You know, Jack Hughes is going to be out for New Jersey tonight, which is obviously a massive loss. He's just been absolutely incredible for them. So I'm going to go to Seattle here. I specifically like the second line. Burakovsky is going to be sitting, it sounds like, for a couple weeks for Seattle, and they're going to move Ryan Donato to that wing. I think he's going to be one of my favorite value plays on the DFS side of things. He's going to come in at $3,000. They should avoid the Nico Hischier line, which I think is massive. He's going to get second unit power play run. He's one of my favorite values on this slate. I'm going to take a wait and see approach with New Jersey without Hughes, because he drives that lineup, almost as much as McDavid drives, the Oilers. Even when McDavid has a bad night, I watched that game the other night. McDavid was everywhere. He was creating chances, for everyone. It just didn't pan out. And I'm really interested to see how the Devils play without Hughes in that lineup, because outside of him, they haven't had a extremely great secondary scorer. Yeah, Dougie Hamilton's been good. Bratt's been fine, but nothing compared to what Hughes has done. So I'm going to take a wait and see approach on Jersey. I'm going to back the Kraken on the road here on the East Coast.
Yeah, I agree. I got a hard time not jumping on a Seattle money line when I see plus money. Tanner, where are you at on this one?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Jack Hughes being out of the lineup is just such a blow to this team. He drives everything about it. Like you're saying, I mean, Dougie's such a great player, but without Hughes, and Hughes draws so much attention that it allows other guys to make those kinds of plays. So without him out there, I think it's going to require him to play a little bit more defense, especially against a Kraken team that just comes at you wave after wave, and they play so well most of the time. And I think they're going to view this as kind of a proving point, just seeing as how the Devils have been so dominant this year. I think the Kraken are going to view this as a chance to bounce back after getting shut out last game. And it's just, this is going to be, to them, like a somewhat of an introduction to playoff hockey, because I do think they end up getting in there. So, I mean, I think this will be a good test for them. But yeah, with Blackwood in net, especially sub 90 save percentage, plus money on the Kraken. I've got to take that. Plus 115 on DraftKings. I'm all over that one.
Right on. Nate, if I close us out on this.
Yeah, I kind of agree with these guys. It's tough. If Jack is in the lineup, I'm taking Jersey for sure. But with him out of the lineup, it's going to be interesting to see how the ship kind of sails here. Dougie Hamilton, I do like him quite a bit because just the terror he's on. I mean, he's shooting the puck 5 times. I assume that's going to increase even more. just because Jack's out, right? Jack usually sucks up a lot of shots for a good reason, right? He's a stud. But yeah, he's averaging 26.84 fantasy points per game over his last 5 for a D-man, and he's 7,300. I mean, that's better than 90% of the wings on the slate, right? At the same price point. Only issue is I typically don't like to spend up for D-men. But yeah, that's a good play there. I think the Kraken up and down their lineup have value for sure. Ely, Golvainen. I'm consistently just going to keep playing this dude. He's 3,800, top power play, going to have a good matchup on that, playing that depth line. And he's averaging close to 4 shots per game for this team at 3,800 on a top power play. Skating with Yanni Gord, who I think is a solid hockey player. So that's a nice little cheap 2-man stack there. And they do see decent minutes at those price tags too. He's got 13, 13, 13, and 12 in his last 4. So Seattle definitely have some very good value pieces, and I wouldn't fault anyone for going there. And then Dougie Hamilton's pretty much limits my interest on the Jersey side here.
Cool. Easy enough. Anything else on that game, boys? Matty, I don't know how much time you got left, but I wanted to be sure to get your thoughts on this game, so we're going to skip around a little bit. Las Vegas Golden Knights visiting the Minnesota Wild. Is it a Fleury revenge game?
Well, Dino mentioned it the other day, and that's the reason why Gustafsson started yesterday, is that Mark wanted to go against his old squad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Wild fan. I watched that game last night. Ottinger was just absolutely incredible. I didn't think the Wild played bad by any means.
Sure.
On home ice, I just think they're a better squad. That Ekline, is going to line up against Jack, and it's going to have to be the secondary guys for Vegas to get it done. On the DFS side of things, I'm going to go right back to Ryan Hartman. He was back on the center line last night. I believe he took 8 shots. He had 5 on goal, 1 block. The top line was buzzing last night, but like I mentioned, Ottinger was just fantastic. One other guy I'll mention for the Wild is Matt Dumba. It looks like Jonas Brodin's going to sit tonight. As much as I hate that clown and I wish he was never on this hockey team, he's going to be thrust into probably 22 to 24 minutes tonight. And at $2,900, I'm more than willing to take some shots on that. If I was looking at Vegas, it would probably be for me Riley Smith. He's got the speed that can beat some of these big guys the Wild have, like Greenway and Foligno. So if I was looking at somebody on that side, it would probably be Riley Smith for me.
Okay. No, you make an interesting point. By no means you're right that the Wild played poorly the other day, but that's kind of been the story for them all season long, has it not? They're not playing bad, but they're not playing good enough to win.
Yeah, we can't seem to crack the code. It's very frustrating. That's why I actually wore the Wild jersey today. I'm trying to change their mojo. They haven't won since I went to the Sabres game last Saturday, so I had to pull out the Thrill jersey and try to give the squad some good mojo. So on home ice, I think they can get the job done here. But I do expect it to be a good game. Vegas always plays us tight. They always do.
And over under of 5.5. I don't see any reason to not take the under, but are you going to talk me out of it?
No. If I was betting this game, I would certainly be betting the under.
Fantastic. Tanner, on that note, I'll just pass it right along to you.
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with that. I hate 5.5 unders, but I see this game being very tight. I know Vegas can they've been struggling to score lately, but Eichel can only stay down for so long. He's a phenomenal player, but he's going to run into Eriksson, which no one really seems to have an answer for how good he's been, especially on home ice. He just shuts down every team's top line. So I expect him to struggle tonight. I do think the Wild win here, even though they did play last night. Like you said, Ottinger just played out of his mind, which he tends to do. So even with a little travel and stuff like that, I think they're kind of maybe not pissed off, but annoyed at how they played last night or how they lost last night. So I think they come in here and take advantage of a Vegas team that's just been struggling to score. So I do like that. You're not getting a ton of juice. You get -125, which isn't terrible, but I don't mind that. But I do like Matt Boldy still. He's just been a phenomenal player. He's been playing so well lately. Where did you drop down on the goal score? I had it highlighted.
Plus 225 on DraftKings.
Okay, I can't seem to find him right now. But yeah, I like Matt Boldy to score tonight. I like the way he's been playing lately. He's really finding his groove, especially since he signed that contract. I mean, he's going to be on that second line, so he's not going to draw the attention that like the Kaprizov and Zuccarello line draws. So I think that's going to open up a lot for him. I think he tucks one of the maybe 2 or 3 goals that the Wild get tonight. So that's definitely my play there. Like on Vegas side, not a whole lot to like from a betting standpoint, just because the Wild do lock things down on home ice. Like, I mean, they're averaging under 2 goals against. They're allowing less than 30 shots against. They don't allow high danger chances. So they're just a tough team to play against on home ice. So I do like Boldy there, and I really do like the under here, even if it is at 5.5.
I love that Boldy call, Tanner. He has almost twice as many points on home ice as he does on the road.
So good on home ice. Like, the team in general is just so good on home ice. But yeah, he's one of my favorite players tonight.
Fair enough. Nate's fine. Do you have a different opinion on this game?
Yeah, Tanner's too sharp. He stole my Boldy thunder here. That's my only interest in this whole game. It's a 5.5 total, 7-game slate. My matchup sheet shows straight red all the way across on both sides. Typically, that doesn't bode very well for fantasy scoring. Obviously, I get owned and slapped in the face by variance quite often, but I don't think that's going to happen here. I do think Minnesota slows this down. They have to start winning games, and I think it starts here against this Vegas squad. Minnesota's 31st in the league in allowing goals at under 2. Same thing in expected goals, so it's not just bad. It's not just good puck luck. They're just a good hockey team in terms of defensive, but they just can't put it together and win games. I do like Boldy. I don't know if I get to him, but he is 5,800. That is a pretty cheap price tag. He's shooting right around 4.5 to 5 shots. So I think his prop on DraftKings for shots on goal over 3.5 is even money. You might get better money on FanDuel for that. But he's surpassed that in 4 out of his last 5 at over 3.5 shots there. So I like that quite a bit.
Cool. Fantastic. And then Matt, I just got time for one more. We'll just toss it to the other most intriguing game on the slate. Vancouver Canucks visiting the New York Islanders. Bo Horvat revenge game. Making the chalky pick. You avoiding him. What's your play with Horvat tonight?
Are you sending it to me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going all in on the Bo revenge narrative tonight. I can't imagine a player of his caliber getting dicked around as much as he did in Vancouver. He has got to be salivating at the opportunity to get a chance. And honestly, I believe the Islanders coach is going to put him in plus matchups this evening and giving him every opportunity to pot one against his old squad. I will lock him on DraftKings at 7,200, especially with some of the other options that we have and the pricing at center. I don't know that I want to pay up for McDavid. I don't know that I want to pay up for McKinnon. So Horvat seems like a great pivot to me. Vancouver's been leaky all year long. I like playing him with Barzal. Barzal's only $5,600. So, when you're kind of combining them together, you're looking at a mid-6 mini stack in a fantastic matchup. So I'm gonna be all in on Bo Horvat tonight. He's gonna pop one. I absolutely guarantee it's gonna be fantastic, and he's gonna look over at that Canucks bench and tell him to suck it.
I love it. Love it. Nate'ify, man. You're a guy that rarely goes chalk. So where are you at on this one?
I mean, chalk. I don't know how many people are loading the wagon and signing up to play the Islanders. They haven't done it all year, but they are a pretty heavy favorite. But I mean, let me just read you these teams that we have on the slate, and you tell me that the Islanders are going to be chalk. I mean, we got Colorado, we got Tampa, we got Edmonton, who gets 30% ownership if they're playing the All-Star team, and Florida. So all these other teams, Jersey, all these other teams are going to draw ownership. And again, I hardly ever really worry about ownership, to be honest. There's just so many ways to get different, like playing a Ross Colton that is at 2% ownership at min price and dropping 15 DraftKings points on everyone's head. Appreciate that call, Matty. But Yeah, Bo Horvat, I mean, can't imagine how this dude is feeling. He just got paid, got out of the worst franchise in the league. Just absolute donkeys out there. Sorry, DJ there in chat. I know you stroke it to your hometown team there, but they are terrible. Their ownership is just, and management is absolutely trash. So I think, I mean, you might be loading the wagon on the alt totals here for Bo Horvat, because I think every time he touches this puck, he is just going to fire. I haven't seen, let me see, who's in net. Yeah, and you get Delia in net. Like, come on. I mean, this dude.
That is absolute trash.
Yeah, he is awful. And then Matty stole my thunder again, right? Like, Barzal, why is he 5,700? I mean, like, that's too cheap. I think this is an absolute smash spot here for the Islanders. I don't know if I full stack them up. I'd probably limit it to 2 or 3 mans, just because we've seen it all year. They have lacked upside, but when they pop, they pop. So it is a good GPP spot. And Vancouver's penalty kill is under 60%. Like, that is brutal. I know Islanders power play hasn't been great, but getting Bo Horvat's definitely not going to hurt it. And you go on that penalty kill against Vancouver, who is terrible. And that Bo Horvat could score a full strength and a power play goal here, and see a 3+ night point.
So glad you bring up the props, because they are juicy. 4+ shots on goal for Horvat, plus 188, 5+ plus 400. Obviously, you got to be on the plus 152 goal scorer, but if you really want to go full send, plus 760, 2+ goals for Horvat. Tanner, what are your takes on this one? Where are you at?
Yeah, as you guys were talking, I was pulling all those up. I mean, definitely you got to put some on the goal scorer here. Like Matty said, they're going to put him in every situation to shoot, so he's going to shoot a lot. And I think any chance they get with an empty net or anything at the end, he's going to be the guy they look to. So I think he gets one mid-game. I think he gets an empty netter here. So plus 760, I'm definitely putting a little bit on that 2+ goal scorer. I do think the Islanders just clobber him here. I wish you could get a little bit of a better payout. I mean, regulation when you're getting minus 140 on DraftKings. But yeah, I just think they're going to do everything they can to let Horvat stick it to his old team.
You know, I'm not a big puck line guy, but you know, you're getting plus money on the puck line on the Islanders, and plus 115. I don't hate that at all, to be honest.
Nate's, you like any of those options? Like I said, you normally play it smart, play it straight, but any interest with the big juice on these?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I'm not grabbing the money line because that's just way too much juice there. It's hockey, it's variance. I mean, anything can go wrong. It is still the New York Islanders we're talking about here. But I do think this trade makes them turn the corner here and make a push through the second half. I mean, Sorokin is an absolute freak. I mean, he is he's an incredible goalie. The only issue is he's 8,300. But who else are you really looking to sign up and play at goalie? Goalie's kind of weak tonight. The pay down options are playing teams where they could literally end up in Saros territory and negative score. So we do have value on Seattle in a pretty decent matchup, right? So paying up 8,300 for Sorokin, he's not the 86, the 8,500s that we see a lot of these top end goaltenders in good matchups get to. So that's not terrible there.
Yeah, no, definitely a lopsided slate, so definitely hard to find goalies for sure. It's a good call out. So you're saying it might probably spend up for both guys, go on and put Sorokin and Horvat?
I haven't built teams yet. I don't know what it looks like. But yeah, I mean, on the surface, clearly I can never get this Sorokin dude right. Every time I've played him in my high dollar stuff, he has his down games for whatever reason. And every time I fade him, he has a 40 save shutout. So we see. I'll tell Chad if I'm fading them so they can all load the wagons. And if I'm playing them, make sure they all play Delia or something in that on the flip side, because that's just how it goes.
Yeah, no, I was looking at his stats prior to the show, and it's wild. He's one of the best goalies in the league. He's had 5 shutouts this year, but he's got a record of 17-16. And I mean, that is life on the field.
Because the Islanders don't score.
It comes down to goal scoring.
That's because the Island. That's why they went and got Horvat, because they just lacked offensive firepower. I mean, yeah, I think that changes. I mean, if he was on Boston, like, you imagine his numbers on Boston. I couldn't even imagine. He'd be looking at breaking. He'd be looking at breaking all the in-season records. But there's a lot of goaltenders that are like that. I mean, Gibson, if Gibson's not in Anaheim, right? Like,
yeah,
I'll take Gibson in Minnesota any day of the week. Like,
God, I would love John Gibson.
Bring him over here. Get Chychrun, get Gibson, and look out, because Dollar Bill Thrill is coming at you, and the Wild totally turn the corner if that happens. But so I mean, he's a great play, 8,300. Islanders, I think we hit the nail on the head here. If they let us down, they let us down, and we move on to tomorrow. But I think they kind of come rolling here.
Fair enough. Matt, did you have anything else you want to add on that?
No, man. I think that's good there.
Cool. Final game, Calgary Flames visiting Detroit Red Wings. Be honest, so many great games on the slate. I didn't really get a chance to dive in on this one. Nate, do you have some insight here?
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting game, because on the surface, if you just look at last 5 numbers of actual goals for, goals against, kind of just the surface level stuff, it's going to tell you to play Calgary here. Just because Calgary's been good in scoring, and they're all right in goals against. But you look at Detroit's numbers, even with the AHL squad out there, their expected goals is 4th in the league against over the last 5 at 2.61. Only issue is their expected goals for is just as bad at 2.6. So it is kind of worrisome that they've been actually pretty solid. But I have some interest in Calgary too here. And a guy like Blake Coleman as well on that third line, just because of how well he's playing. I mean, he's 3,700. He doesn't see power play time, but he's shooting the puck over 4 times per game, averaging right around 20 DraftKings points over his last 5. Obviously, 2 of those are kind of outliers there, with 33 and 24 in his last 2. I'm always been a Blake Coleman guy. Usually Matty Ice is the Blake Coleman whisperer, so I'm probably not going to play him if Matty doesn't talk highly of him. But Dylan Larkin, 5,500. Like, that is just DraftKings holding the bait out there, waiting for you to come and grab it. I think that's too cheap, I think, for Dylan Larkin's talent on home ice here. The Flames haven't been impressive over the last 5. We talked about it a little bit pre-show. 5,500 for Dylan Larkin that's criminal. He was pushing mid-7s earlier this year, and he's just kind of plummeted ever since, obviously the injuries and different stuff going on there in Detroit. So don't hate that top line there for Larkin, Raymond, and Bertuzzi. But I do have a goal scorer at that's plus 410 on FanDuel.
Woo!
And it's going to be on the Detroit side here. Is Mr. Andrew Kopp. I do think he scores here. Like I said, I haven't been impressed with Calgary. I think he scores. That's some good money there. And then my only real interest on the Flame side is Kadri. I do think Kadri scores. You can get plus 170 for him to pot one here. But overall, I don't love this game from a DFS perspective, just because Detroit's actually better. The underlying numbers are better than what the surface is showing when you look at things like expected goals and stuff like that.
Fair enough. Matty Ice, are you on Coleman tonight?
I never have an issue with playing the hero Blake Coleman. I'm kind of right in line with Nade's here. On the DFS side of thing, it's like DraftKings is trying to bait you to play these teams tonight. The way they have them priced. Dylan Larkin is $5,500. Elias Lindholm's $5,300. Tyler Toffoli $5,700. Another guy I'll mention for the Flames is Dylan Dubé. He's 37. The Flames have kind of shuffled their power plays up, so he's going to be on the top power play unit tonight. We do have Rasmus Anderson sitting. He got hit on a scooter on his way to dinner in Detroit last night, so it looks like Mackenzie Weegar is actually going to be taking over the top power play. I believe he's $3,800, so that's a solid value. But I completely agree with the underlying metrics for the Red Wings are better than what their record is. They've been starting to get healthy. If you start looking at their depth it's starting to get a lot better. I think the Wings win at home here tonight, so I'm going to back them. That's kind of where I'm at. I would go Larkin, Raymond, Bertuzzi. And the Wings, you're getting plus 140 on home ice after getting absolutely mangled by the Oilers. Larkin's an extremely prideful guy. I expect him to come out here tonight and lead the home team to a win.
Give me Husso on that too here at 7,400.
Okay, there we go.
That's your value tender for the day. It could go south, but I do like it. Like I said, underlying metrics are looking pretty good.
I just don't have any faith in the Flames. I just don't.
I don't. But the things the Flames do, right, is they do shoot the puck, and that's good for saves upside for goaltenders. Even if he gives up 2 or 3 here, I mean, they're still averaging nearly 37, 38 shots a game on the road, the Flames are. So he's going to get peppered. If he gets me to that 35 save bonus on DraftKings, I am just swimming because he's 7,400, and the other goaltenders down there could literally give up 5 in the first period and get yanked.
Cool. Tanner, close us out. Are you also taking the home dog?
Yeah, I definitely like the Wings here. They're one of those teams to me that when they're on home ice, they're a tough team to play against. I mean, Dylan Larkin's a great two-way player, so I think Kadri could run into some troubles. I assume Larkin will be matched up against him, but yeah, I do like that. I like Husso's save prop, like you're saying. The Flames just shoot the puck constantly, and he's at 29.5. You're getting minus 120 on that, so I do really like that. But beyond that, yeah, give me the Wings tonight plus 135. I love home dogs, and the Flames they're really good at disappointing.
Fair enough. A couple things before we get to best bets. Got a late comment on the Oilers. Any love for I'm going to butcher this one. McLeod?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to go there tonight as I'm going to go back to the studs for Edmonton. But I mean, if you landed on him as a last piece, I wouldn't hate it. He's skating with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but he's not. I don't see him as a value piece that I'm trying to get into my lineups tonight.
Fair enough. As a reminder, we're represented by Run Pure Sports. We do all these shows for free for you, so we do ask you just drop us a like. As the boys kind of mentioned throughout the show, they have not fully finished doing their analytic dives. They're still building their lineups, and the only way to get their full course is to be a Run Pure member. So check us out. You can get 15% off right now using code Zargo15, code MATTYICE15, NADESAFI15, or Tanner Smith 15. So whichever panel member you like, use the code, come join us, and come win some money. We had a lot more goal scorer props given today. Kicking it off with the McDavid that I get crap for, but that's all right. We'll see. We'll see who's cashing. We also had Verhaeghe at plus 134, Kane plus 152, Horvat plus 152, Boldy plus 186, Kadri plus 170, Tibbet plus 310, and Kopp at an astounding plus 410. I don't believe anyone hit their best bet last time. Tanner, did you? You're the only one.
No, I didn't get it.
Everyone's sitting at 0. We start anew. Matty Ice, I'll toss it to you.
All right, I'm going to give you 2. The best bet of the night is going to be Evander Kane. Anytime goal. I see him at plus 175 on Bovada. I don't know if there's a better number out there. That's just kind of what I'm looking at right now.
Sure.
And for a spicy one this evening, I'm going to give you a Ryan Donato anytime goal plus 400.
Woo! Okay, the long shot and a little more chalky. I like it. Tanner.
Yeah, my best bet, Carter Verhaeghe is a goal scorer. He's plus 134 for that on FanDuel. That second line's been firing on all cylinders. But for a deep cut here, I think I got to just sprinkle in a little on that Bo Horvat 2+ goals on FanDuel plus 760. I mean, I'm not going to be throwing a ton of money at that, but I really like that tonight. I think they're going to give him a ton of chances.
You got to
sprinkle a little bit, yeah.
For sure. For me, I'm riding under 5.5. Vegas at Wild. That's riding out at plus money. Nade's a 5. Close this out.
Yeah, so my kind of decent odds one is Bo Horvat, anytime goal scorer, New York Islanders money line, plus 175 on DraftKings. But my spicy one here, talked about it earlier at Andrew Kopp, anytime goal scorer. I think he's plus 410 on FanDuel, but I'm going to parlay that on DraftKings with Detroit Red Wings money line for plus 700 tonight.
I love it.
Ooh, spicy.
Very spicy. We're getting after it. That's what the people come for. So we appreciate you bringing it, Natesify. Thank you all for joining us. That's our show. We'll be back Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern. We do it all for you. So be sure to drop that like, gamble responsibly, and as always, from Pure, baby.